All right. Todd McShay, he has a mock out. Came out like a day or so ago. You know we got to cover it. Mock the mock. You're getting it twice in a week. I know it's like Christmas has come early or come late. However you want to view it. We will have two mock the mocks. Next week we're going to do the franchise guy because I really love the franchise guy. And my boy JT Sports, another fellow fan network extraordinaire. But if you're not familiar, mock the mock. Basically, we take a look at someone else's mock draft and I give you my opinions on it. It's pretty simple, right? It's fun to look at other people's perspective, views, because I think there's not one, correct way a team has to draft unless you're the Jaguars. But I think there's multiple different routes they can take that are indeed correct. But there are also some, questionable. But yeah, what's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So go ahead, become a bro, and subscribe, and leave a thumbs up, and comment. It really helps the channel out a ton. I want to start doing, what do you call it? What do you call those? Like team off seasons. I started one today that I was trying out, and boy, they're kind of tough. So gosh, that's a lot of work. Podcast should be out next week, man. I'm gonna try to record it Sunday so I can have it out for y'all on Monday. So that'll be fun. I'll let y'all know Monday where you can view and find that. But without further ado, let's get into the dang thing. We're here on 24/7 Sports because I'm not subscribed to ESPN is what it is, I suppose. But Todd McShay, he has Trevor Lawrence. I don't disagree. It's the only right option. You could say trade down. I don't prescribe to that type of thinking. So let's go ahead because things take a quick turn. Penei Sewell to the Jets. Interesting. I get it. There's a lot of people in the camp of, hey, let's get protection for Sam Darnold. I just happen not to be in that camp. I think that if you typically, you don't anticipate to be drafted this early ever. So if you're in a situation to get a franchise quarterback, you take it. Even if you have Sam Darnold, go ahead. I mean, dude's had 3 or 4 years to give it a shot. It hasn't worked out. Granted, the coaching hasn't been great. They haven't been able to surround him with talent. But think about it. If he goes off next year, then they're probably going to sign a long-term deal or fifth-year tender, and he's going to cost a lot of money, and he's just going to need to your cap space. Just get a guy with a new, fresh contract. That's my view on it. Then he has Devonta Smith going to the Dolphins. Now, I'm just saying, I think there's a good argument why Smith should be the first receiver off the board, but I think there's also equally good arguments why it should be Chase or why it could be Waddle. Because if you look at Chase, Jamar Chase literally did, like, if you go back to 2019, the dude was phenomenal. He had a Devonta Smith-esque year. But he does what Devonta does well, basically good release off the line of scrimmage. He's physical at the catch point. He does that being 25 more pounds. You don't have to worry about Jamar Chase translate into the NFL's physicality. Smith, that is a question. Jalen Waddle, if you go back, look at the first 4 games of the season before he got hurt, he was outproducing Devonta Smith with less volume. So I think there's a good case for all the receivers, but Dolphins grab Smith in here. So hey, if that's your top receiver, that's your top receiver. Zach Wilson going to the Falcons. Yeah, I could see it happening, man. If you're high this early, why not grab a franchise quarterback? Matt Ryan's 36. I don't see that team being able to grab a franchise quarterback in the next few years. I think they're going to be better than a top 5, top 10 team. So, And then Rashaan Slater to the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't have to tell y'all why I don't like this pick. A lot of people, I think Mel Kiper even said it when they were going over this on First Take. was the only way you draft him in the top 5, top 10, let alone, is if he's playing offensive tackle. If you think, oh, we can move him all along the line or he's going to play on the interior, then he's more of a top 15, top 20 type of guy, which I totally agree with. He's never played guard or center at the collegiate level. He's only played right tackle for 2 seasons and then left for the 2019 season. He's great. Well, he's one of my top tackles, but at 5, too much. And then we have Micah Parsons going to the Philadelphia Eagles. They need linebacker help. Makes sense. He's one of the top prospects on the board. Jamar Chase going to the Lions. All their receivers, at least their top 3, are all going to be free agents at the end of this season. So that makes sense as well. They could go quarterback here with Fields still on the board. You think they might, though, you know? But they need receiver help. Jamar Chase is phenomenal. Carolina Panthers go Kyle Pitts over Justin Fields. And when we get to Fields' pick, I'll let you know why Todd McShay did it. Because it's not as easy as, oh, he just anticipates him to fall. There is an actual reason behind it. But Kyle Pitts, hey, I'm all for, if you don't buy into any of the quarterbacks after Trevor Lawrence, I guess, or even Zach Wilson, then taking the best player off your board. I'm totally cool with that. Pitts, he could do a lot of different things. He's not just a tight end, so yeah. And then we have Denver Broncos going Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. I think this guy can be a top 10 pick. There's parts of his game that's Isaiah Simmons-esque. A majority of the last season, he actually played in the slot. The guy's just phenomenal, man. He goes from 0 to 60 in like no time. Plays with a lot of speed. I like him a lot. But again, I would still have to think about maybe quarterback there. Or even one of the top corners off the board, because I don't think we've seen one gone until just now. Patrick Surtain for the Cowboys. Kind of, it makes sense. If they liked Trevon Diggs so much last year, then they're going to love Surtain. And, okay, we exit the top 10, so he goes into, they start breaking it out. I guess we could break this down in chunks. So Gregor Russo to the Giants. I kind of think that Kwity Paye is, well, he's currently my top edge, but I mean, Joe Judge, I think, would love a kind of a freak like Russo is, because he is a physical freak. There's lots about him that's Javion Clowney-esque, so. And then the Niners, with so many quarterbacks still on the board, they go Caleb Farley. They do need cornerback help. I mean, so it makes sense. Shaun Wade somehow making it into the top 13. I don't get it. I mean, what is he going to come in and play slot immediately with Chris Harris there? I don't think so. I don't know about that. Shaun Wade, he's looked a fool on the outside. Go back to the Penn State game with Dotson. Go back to the Clemson game with is it Cornell Powell, I think? But dude, made absolute fool of Wade. There's no way I see him in the first round. Then Christian Darius to the Vikings. It kind of makes sense if Riley Reif is, if they expect to release him in the near future. I think he only has 1 year left on his contract. And if they envision Ezra Cleveland being more of a guard than a future tackle, then yeah, totally makes sense. Now, Todd McShay said the reason Justin Fields falls this far because he thinks, he didn't do trades in this, but he believes that the Patriots are going to make a trade up for Fields. So it's not that he actually thinks Fields is going to fall this far, but he thinks the Patriots, regardless, are going to land him in some sort of move up the draft board. Whatever move that is, hey. But I don't know. I find that I don't like that. If you're doing a mock draft without trades, you can't be like, ooh, I really want this guy to go here, and I really think it's going to happen. So I'm just going to ignore like he's off the board. I'm going to make it like he's off the board for all these other teams and then plant him here. I don't really like that. If you really anticipate a trade, just do a trade mock draft. Easy as that, you know? So on to the next round here. And then just still, like, I don't believe Trey Lance not going to one of the, like, to the Broncos or to the Niners, even to the Bears. Like, there's a lot of potentially quarterback needy teams. So I don't know. Travis Etienne going this high to the Arizona Cardinals. If you're familiar with the channel, then you know I personally don't like I don't really value running back in the first round. I think you could get, honestly, a guy that fits your scheme in day 3. Look at James Robinson. Honestly, running back production is more indicative of down and distance, how well your offensive line is, and scheme fit. I mean, if you go back to last year's Super Bowl, the Kansas City Chiefs and Damian Williams versus the San Francisco 49ers and Raheem Mostert, career journeyman. You don't need a running back to succeed in this league. That's the unfortunate truth. You just need to find guys that can do it well enough. And then Jalen Waddle falling this far into the Raiders. I mean, let alone very interesting. I mean, I don't hate it. I don't know if you give Derek Carr, a guy that once the ball's in his hands, he can take it to the house. Him and Ruggs would be terrifying. But I mean, you got Hunter Renfrow there, so what are you going to play with Waddle on the outside? I guess you could kind of flip the two occasionally if you like. So interesting. And then Rashad Bateman going to the Dolphins. He is the 4th receiver off my board. The Dolphins, they could use a playmaker. I mean, he's a decent separator, so you know what? I don't mind that at all. The Washington football team nabbed Trey Lance. If he falls this far, it's a steal, so yeah, go for it. The Chicago Bears, Elijah Moore. I got a 3rd round grade on Elijah Moore just because I see him more as a slot. And I think they're while I really like Elijah Moore, and I think he's probably one of the top slot receivers in this class, I think you could still find quality guys that can at least get equal, if not maybe even a little less production as Moore in their rookie seasons. That's the thing, man. I think in the slot, you can find a lot of players that can do it well, so I don't know about that. And I mean, it's not like if they lose Allen Robinson, then what? You're going to have 2 undersized guys on the outside? That just kind of doesn't make sense to me. And then on to the next slate of picks we got here. Indianapolis Colts go Mac Jones, man. I'm telling you, Mac Jones might end up being a top 20 pick. I know he was such a popular pick in my my recent mock draft. I like to stir the pot, man. I like to give y'all possibilities, and y'all crap on it. But I mean, hey, the Colts, if they're not because I mean, they could bring Phillip Rivers back for one more season if they want to develop Mac Jones. Mac Jones, honestly, I mean, he's kind of you see what you get type of prospect. He's going to be extremely accurate. He's got great anticipation, moves well enough in the pocket. So, and you got one of the best offensive lines in football, so why not? You just plug and play. Then the Jaguars go Davion Nixon. I think they have other more vital areas that they can address here. Did Caleb Farley go off the board yet? Okay, yeah, he went. Okay, the Niners. I was about to say, man, they could address corner, they could address safety. You could get tackle here. Samuel Cosme, I believe, still on the board. I mean, and honestly, Christian Barmore, I think I have rated higher than Nixon anyway. So, and then we have Zamian Collins going to the Browns. Great value. He's got a fabulous skill set for being 260. Surprisingly, a very pretty decent coverage linebacker as well. So, a hot name that has been rising up boards all season. Joseph Asai to the Titans. Makes sense. Titans need pass rush. The Jets, they get Chris Olave to pair up with Penei Sewell. Oh, wait. Oh, okay, for Sam Darnold. Okay, kind of makes sense if they are going to go in that direction. So, I mean, you got almost immediate plug-and-play starters there. So, yeah, I guess now they can maybe address the defense and free agency. So, I mean, again, it's just a different avenue the Jets can go. I may not, I may think the better option's quarterback, but I'm not going to deny that drafting a tackle isn't a bad option either. And then Kwity Paye fall into 26. Hey, Ravens, if they get this, you get a phenomenal steal. That's wild. He should have never fallen that far. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they grab Christian Barmore. He could be a plug-and-play guy, especially if they don't bring Sue back to play next to Vita Vea. Very scary on that defensive line. So it makes a ton of sense here. I think Tampa, you got that 1-year window left with Tom Brady. I know some of y'all think he might play till he's 45, but there's no guarantee he comes back to the Buccaneers. So there is that. Najee Harris, 2 running backs in the first round. I definitely think Najee Harris and Travis Etienne will go probably before the top 50 picks, just because that's how things are with running back. But yeah, no, this is good. I projected the Steelers grabbing Najee Harris just much later in mine. Wyatt Davis for the Bills makes sense. I got Elijah Vera Tucker as my top guard, but or top interior player. But I mean, he might Wyatt Davis, you know, he's kind of, I think he might fit a bit of the blockade scheme there in Buffalo. They need help at guard. Cody Ford ain't it, unfortunately. They got rid of Quinn Spain earlier this season. So yeah, I feel like you're kind of pulling, like the Bills, I feel like they have the luxury to kind of go wherever they want here. So if they do want to go guard, then yeah, okay. Nick Bolton to the Saints. If I'm the Saints, man, I'm excited. Nick Bolton honestly could go earlier. The guy's probably one of the best coverage linebackers in this class. Then Terrace Marshall going to the Packers. I like it, man. He's like, if anything, worst case scenario, he might be better MVS. Or at least I assume that's the role he's going to take on, because he's got a lot of speed for being 6. I think he's 6'3", 200 pounds. He did struggle with drops this year, though. He didn't the year before with the same volume. Well, similar volume. But he did struggle with drops this year. So something just to take note. And then the Kansas City Chiefs get Darion Kendricks. I know Kendrick. A lot of people I kind of fell off the bandwagon after the playoff game. I think you kind of got to understand what he was being asked to do in that playoff game against one of the best separators in this draft, Chris Olave. The corners, they were being asked to play shallow. They had a single high going. They were respecting the run and respecting the run a ton. They didn't want to get destroyed by Trey Sermon. So they were playing everyone shallow, and you were supposed to have that single high just in case they would try to get someone deep. The unfortunate part, that single high safety quite often bit underneath. Literally just came underneath and please, Chris Olave, is the other guy, Garrett Wilson, tear the top off our defense. They weren't the corners for Clemson weren't put in a great situation. So yeah, but hey, Kendrick, he's got ball skills, former receiver. He was shut down all this year if you want to discount the Ohio State game, but understand the context behind that Ohio State game. But overall, very interesting draft. Glad not to see any, what was the last time I looked at a draft of his? Yeah, Charleston Rambo, who's now transferring. Nico Collins, who I look forward to seeing at the Senior Bowl, all in the late first round. It was interesting. Very interesting. But that's the beauty of the draft, man. Things change throughout the whole season, and you're going to get a ton of draft content on this channel. So go ahead, subscribe. But that's it for the video. There we go. It took me a minute to switch on over. Go ahead, do that YouTube thing, and until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.